Now we're going to talk about graphing inequalities. Inequalities, when you solve them, you work it out, but the graph is a really nice pictorial way to see what's going on. All right, it lets you visualize all of the answers, because inequalities have generally an infinite amount of answers or number of answers, while equations only have one answer. So because there is an infinite amount, drawing a picture really can help out. All right, a few rules first, and I'll explain where these rules come from. If it's less than or greater than, it gets an open circle. So the open circle is going to be where you can actually see the inside of it. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it gets a closed circle. And with the closed circle, we literally fill it in, call it just a dot. All right? And you shade in the direction of the arrow. And all of this, as far as rule number 2 goes, is predicated on the variable being on the left. Now, if the variable's not on the left, you need to get it there and you just flip the whole thing over. All right? You shouldn't run into any that are like that. But if you do, just flip it over. So if you have 7 is less than x, flip the whole thing. It'll turn into x is greater than 7. Okay, so if you do end up with a variable on the right, flip it, and then you can graph it. Okay, so let's look at the first one. X is greater than 4. So you're going to have a number line. Generally, I just put in 0 and the number. I just want 0 as a reference point. I put the number down there. Now let's follow the rules for a moment, and then I'm going to explain it. Okay? 0 is greater than 4. So it's a greater than, so it gets an open circle. So we put an open circle on the 4. And then you shade in the direction of the symbol, or of the arrow. Change that word arrow to symbol. Makes a little more sense that way. That's pointing to the right. That's the way the arrowhead is going. The symbol is pointing to the right. So we're going to shade it to the right. Okay? Look at the next one. So I wanted to work for a moment on just getting you there. So there's 0 and 2. Now, instead of following these rules for a moment, I want you to think, what are some numbers that are smaller than 2? Well, 1 is smaller than 2, so because it's smaller, we can put a dot there. 0 is smaller than 2. -1, -2, -3, 4, 5. All of those are smaller than 2, aren't they? They say x is less than 2. It's all the numbers smaller than 2. But wait a minute. What about 1.5, 0.5, -0.5, -1.5? As a matter of fact, what about 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9? Every number that's smaller than 2 is going to get a dot, isn't it? Hence, why don't we shade it? Because we know it's every number smaller than 2. What about the 2 itself? Is 2 itself smaller than 2? No. So we're going to put an open circle there. That open circle represents that it starts at 2, but it doesn't include 2. 2 is not smaller than 2. If you look at the third one, here's 0 and -5. It's less than or equal to. -5 is less than or equal to -5. Because of the equal to, we want to put a dot. We want to show that -5 is included. And then we shade to the left. You always shade from the number that is listed. The last one, here's 0, here's 5, less than or equal to. So because it's less than or equal to, I'm going to put a dot on the 5. And again, the symbol is pointing to the left, so I'm going to shade to the left. Because it's less than, it's all the numbers that are toward the smaller side. When it's greater than, it's all the numbers that are toward the larger side. Anyway, keep that in mind. The less than or the greater than gets the open circle. The less than or equal to or the greater than or equal to gets the dot or the closed circle. Shade in the direction of the symbol. You can't go wrong. It's the way the arrow is pointing. Good luck.